Alright, this is my UI so far. This is going to be the landing page. This is a very basic placeholder right now. I want it to look something like this. I'm pretty much copying OpenAI here, but that's okay. So I'm gonna put something nice here, and when people come to this page, it's supposed to have all the marketing and like trying to get them to use it. Right here, you can sign in. Well, actually, I don't have an account yet, so I have to create one. You can sign in with Google or GitHub. I'm gonna create one. So this should still work. So I should get an email over here. Okay, I have to fix this page. This is the onboarding page. This is where they need to put, the user needs to put in some information. I think for version 1, just for the launch, I'm gonna make it so that you have to bring your own API key. The API key comes from OpenAI. I don't know. Where are my API keys? I should be logged in. Right here. So you have to create a new key. And then get this. So my first audience is developers though, so that should be okay. So once you do that, you put your key in here, and then you're logged in. I think this looks a little too plain right now, so I don't know how to make it better. So you can add agencies. And then change which agency you're working in through this side panel. You can add agents. What? Oh. So sometimes I have a bug right now. Sometimes it doesn't load properly. That's okay. I can fix that. So sometimes this list doesn't load properly, but you can choose which model of GPT you're using. These have different price points and different abilities. Like GPT-4 is supposed to be better at complicated tasks. So like one idea is that GPT-4 is more expensive than 3.5 Turbo, but 3.5 Turbo is cheaper, but a little bit more simplistic. So maybe if you have one agent who has a critical task, you can assign that agent GPT-4. And then if you have a simpler agent, like the manager maybe, then you can assign them, okay, so I have some styling issues still. You can assign them a cheaper model basically. So maybe you want to limit the number of agents on the expensive models. This is the manager of the agency. And the way this works is that there needs to be at least one agent in the agency that is assigned to be the manager. And so I don't want end users to manually describe how the manager should work. I want there to be maybe a button when you click add agent. There's some kind of button or CTA here, call to action, which will automatically designate this agent as the manager. And what that will do is insert default instructions that the manager always gets that can't be edited. So so when you click this is the manager, it'll insert an instruction here which can't be changed, and that should help. Maybe it can be changed actually, because maybe they want the manager to work a little bit differently. But if they allow them to change it, if you change how the manager works too much, it might break things. But I think my first audience developers want the ability to mess with things and be able to break things. So I think that's okay. I think if they can experiment, that would be better. If they can give feedback, so you can define agents here, and then once you're done instructing how your agency should work overall, you can go over here to the interact page. You can hide this to get that out of the way if you want, and then you can expand this side more. And here are the agents. This is non-editable now, but you can refer back to the agents that you've instructed. This messages panel is not done yet. It's supposed to look like the messaging app in iOS, where you have messages that this agent is saying on the right side and messages that it's receiving on the left side. That looks like this. So and then furthermore, like if you have a message being each of these messages, they're clickable, and when you click this message, it'll navigate to the other agent in their messages panel and scroll to the because there could be a lot of messages in here. It'll scroll down or up to the actual message that matches the message you clicked on. So messages are linked and you can navigate around. And this is really for debugging. So the whole point is like you're supposed to instruct agents first, and then you test how well your agency works by going into the interact panel, and this is for debugging purposes, where you can see all the messages that are happening in the agency in the current conversation you're having, and really debug what's happening. There's going to be an input panel here where you can inject messages into the conversation, which is not supposed to happen in live production. When this agency goes live, there is no way to manually talk to agents other than the manager. So this talks to the manager. This will send messages to the manager, and the manager receives those messages. But what happens behind the scenes is that there's messages being sent around between the other agents in the agency. And for debugging purposes, sometimes you'll instruct these agents, and they won't work how you expect them to. And to kind of like debug things and experiment and try to get things to move along, you can send them a direct message, which is not supposed to happen in live production. But if you figure out like what extra messages you need to be sending to this other agent who's not working properly, then you can sort of emulate the work you're doing as a direct doing the direct messaging, and encode that into another agent. So another agent does the work of direct messaging. So you kind of want to, when you're doing this direct messaging to an agent, you want to be algorithmic in the way that you're doing it and simplistic in the way that you're trying to correct these agents, so that you can take the way that you're correcting them and turn that and encode that into another agent back in the instruct panel. So that's the workflow, is like you go back and forth between these two panels, debugging, sending direct messages, making new agents to automate those direct messages. It's this idea of automating the hand holding, because right now people are using ChatGPT and they need to do a lot of hand holding with a single agent approach. So by automating all that hand holding, the multi-agent approach should be decent. I don't know yet. So So that's the interact panel, and then you can go into publish when you're done with that. And then these are all instructions on how to how to talk to this agency that you've created through an API in live production. Um, this contains the latest version of the agency you've created. Whenever you change the the instructions for that agency, a new version is automatically created. So if you have an app that's already talking to the agency and then you change the agency, it'll continue talking to the old version of the agency. And then you have to go, and when you make a new agency, you have to go and manually update your external APIs. So this is all very developer centric right now. Um, there's this is all basically documentation how to use this in live production. Um, so so there's examples there. There's some information about accessing old versions, and at the bottom of the screen, maybe I'll move this screen. Maybe I'll make like another side panel with the settings on the side panel. But down here you have like the ability to create access keys, because in order to access your API in production, you need to send an authorization header with your special access key, which is it's like a password. So, and then you have all the old versions if you need to access your old versions. So, and then you can delete them. So, um, yeah, if you delete this, then we'll be inside writers. So that's it right now. I think the UI is pretty much done. There was a lot of extra UI stuff I had to add here for the interact and publish pages, but I'm pretty much ready to. Did I not? I didn't save it. So I'm pretty much ready to start actually having the agents send messages to each other. So that's where I'm at now.